Fried on the spot. Triple H terminates Bron Breakker after shocking attack on Adam Pearce. Asterisk. Welcome back, WWE Insider. In the shadowed underbelly of Monday Night Raw, where the roar of the crowd fades into a deafening silence backstage, imagine the raw fury of a young phenom unleashing hell on the man who dared to leash him. Bron Breakker, eyes wild with unbridled rage, spearing Adam Pearce through a barricade in a blur of muscle and malice, only for Triple H to storm in like a vengeful god, his voice a thunderclap. "You're done," terminated on the spot, shattering dreams and legacies in one brutal heartbeat. Please like, share, and subscribe for more WWE content. The attack didn't erupt from thin air, it simmered for months in the pressure cooker of Raw's corridors, where Bron, the son of a Steiner legend, chafed under Pearce's endless fines and suspensions. His explosive spears on stars like Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov met with slaps on the wrist that felt like chains, building a resentment that twisted his all-American smile into something feral and unforgiving. Betrayal cut deepest that night, not from a rival wrestler, but from the very authority figures who'd scouted him from NXT, promising the world only to clip his wings. Pearce, once a mentor in his eyes, now the symbol of every overlooked opportunity, every, not yet, that echoed like a slap, leaving Bron to whisper in the mirror, "They built me to destroy, then fear what I am." Grief shadowed Bron's every step long before the spear, the ghost of his family's fractured empire weighing heavy, Rick Steiner's wild brawls masking personal demons, Brother Scott's battles with addiction ripping the Steiner legacy apart, leaving young Bronson to inherit not just the genes, but the hollow ache of watching heroes fall from grace in headlines and hospital rooms. Health crises had stalked the Steiner bloodline like a predator, Bron's own body a ticking bomb of concussions and tears from high school football fields to indie rings, nights spent in ice baths fighting the inflammation that whispered, "Retire early," his father's voice on late calls a gravelly reminder, "Push through, kid, or it all ends in regret." Scandal had already tarnished the path ahead, whispers of WWE's wellness policy bending for veterans while rookies like Bron faced microscopic scrutiny, leaked memos from Pearce's office accusing him of uncontrolled aggression that smelled like a setup, fueling paranoia that the company was grooming him for stardom just to discard him when the beast proved too wild. Death had brushed too close for comfort in the wrestling world Bron idolized, mentors like Bray Wyatt slipping away in the prime of their chaos, leaving Bron staring at old tapes in hotel rooms, tears blurring the screen as he mourned the unhinged creativity he'd never match, a void that turned admiration into a desperate hunger to carve his own immortal mark. Family breakdowns echoed through his veins, the Steiners' infamous fallout a blueprint of doom, divorces, estrangements, Bron's own parents navigating the fallout of fame's fallout, holidays strained with unspoken accusations, his calls home now laced with the fear that success might sever the few ties he had left, turning blood into strangers. Backstage tension crackled like a live wire as Raw went live, producers scattering as Bron stormed toward Pearce's office, the air thick with the scent of sweat and stale coffee, other talents averting eyes, knowing one wrong glance could ignite the powder keg, whispers rippling, "He's gonna snap tonight, Pearce pushed too far." You could feel the buildup in the way Bron's fists clenched during his pre-show warm-up, veins bulging like rivers ready to flood, a trainer hesitating to tape his wrists, the room heavy with the unspoken dread that this wasn't kayfabe. This was a man unraveling, thread by thread, under the weight of expectations no Steiner had ever fully escaped. Pearce, ever the diplomat, paced his office with a father's weary resolve, papers strewn like battlefield casualties, his own history of ring wars flashing in his mind, broken marriages from the Rhodes' endless grind, kids grown distant, the GM roll a bandage over wounds that never fully healed, yet he steeled himself, believing he could talk Bron down one last time. The confrontation ignited in a heartbeat, Pearce's door slamming open, Bron's silhouette filling the frame like a storm cloud, words flying like daggers, "You fine me for being me. For the fire you signed." Pearce rising, voice steady but eyes betraying the flicker of fear, a man who'd stared down Lesnar now facing a mirror of his own youthful rage. Betrayal peaked as Pearce reached for the radio to call security, Bron's laugh bitter and broken, "After all I gave. You traitorous suit. Lunging forward in a spear that cracked ribs and splintered trust, the office erupting in chaos, monitors shattering, Pearce gasping on the floor, blood trickling from a split lip, his plea choked. This isn't you, kid, this is the end. Grief surged through Bron in the aftermath, collapsing against a wall amid the debris, the high of adrenaline crashing into the low of realization, his father's disappointed silence on the phone earlier that week replaying, the Steiner name now synonymous with destruction once more, tears hot on his cheeks as crew rushed in, not heroes, but witnesses to a son's self-sabotage. Health crises flashed in Pearce's blurred vision as medics swarmed, his chest heaving not just from the impact but from old ring injuries flaring like ghosts, heart palpitations from years of chair shots, a reminder that authority's throne was built on brittle bones, his wife's voice in his head from last night's call. Come home safe, Adam, please. Scandal unfolded in real time on the monitors, cameras capturing the assault for the world to devour, social media exploding with hashtags of outrage, insiders leaking that this was the tipping point after months of ignored warnings, WWE's image as a family fracturing under the glare of a lawsuit waiting to bloom from Pearce's hospital bed. Death's specter loomed in the quiet moments that followed, Triple H bursting through the curtain, face a mask of regal fury masking his own buried sorrows, the McMahon era's toxic undercurrents that had nearly claimed his career, friends lost to the grind, now channeling that pain into a decree that echoed like a final bell, termination, swift and merciless.